In a world where the United States' global leadership is uncertain, its allies are facing a pivotal moment. Can they forge their own path and navigate the complexities of an evolving international order? The great power paradox. Even before President Trump's return to the White House, a deep contradiction emerged among U.S. allies. They fear the collapse of the international order that has been the bedrock of their stability. Yet they hesitate to embrace the necessary structural changes for a more uncertain future. But there are signs of change. U.S. allies in Europe and the Indo-Pacific are increasingly willing to collaborate and coordinate across a spectrum of shared interests, from trade to defense and beyond. These democratic middle powers, committed to open trade and investment, find common ground. The UK, France, and Germany, Washington's key European allies, share similarities with Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea. The pillars of the U.S. alliance system in the Indo-Pacific. A new alliance dynamic. Recently, the foreign ministers of these 7 countries, along with Poland, met on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly in New York. They acknowledged the growing interconnectedness of peace, security, and resilience between the Indo-Pacific and Europe. In a novel format and without U.S. representation, they pledged closer cooperation on maritime security, cybersecurity, economic security, climate change, and broader geopolitical uncertainties. This meeting was a significant step towards a more autonomous alliance dynamic. These nations are seeking to shield themselves from the economic and technological dominance of Beijing and the growing protectionist pressures emanating from the U.S., which predate President Trump's return. Organizing for a new world order. So how can U.S. allies organize themselves in this new era? Autarky may not be feasible for a superpower like America, but its allies in Europe and the Indo-Pacific will suffer if barriers to trade and investment continue to rise. Large, advanced, and open economies like the UK, France, Germany, Japan, South Korea, and Australia must work together to defend the free flow of goods, services, and investments. One avenue is through cooperation around the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, CPTPP, a regional trade agreement previously supported by Washington. Australia, Japan, New Zealand, and the UK are already members, with South Korea considering joining and the European Union discussing deeper trade linkages. In the realm of technology, these nations can form a stronger coalition to compete with the assertive measures taken by both China and the US. In key technological domains, none of Washington's major allies can compete alone, but together they can pool resources and knowledge to stay relevant and discuss strategies to avoid technological isolation. Leading in defense and intelligence. While Washington's leadership is irreplaceable in defense and intelligence, European and Indo-Pacific allies are already expanding their linkages independently. For instance, Italy, Japan, and the UK are collaborating on the Global Combat Air Program, developing their own next-generation aircraft instead of relying solely on U.S. fighters. This could be the beginning of a broader integration of defense and security capabilities between allies, overcoming challenges and leading together. This shift is not about severing ties with Washington, but adapting to changes in U.S. domestic politics and empowering U.S. allies to make meaningful contributions. However, coordinating between middle powers in Europe and Asia without U.S. leadership is a formidable task. Within the EU, France and Germany still have their differences, with their joint fighter jet program in doubt due to political and commercial rivalries. The UK, while mending fences post-Brexit, faces challenges in defense and industrial cooperation due to its position outside the EU. In the Indo-Pacific, historical tensions between Japan and South Korea have limited their ability to cooperate fully with the US and other allies. It will require visionary leadership to overcome these tensions and find creative, flexible, and cost-effective solutions. If U.S. allies in Europe and the Indo-Pacific fail to strengthen their collaboration, they may lack the resources and scale to thrive in these uncertain times.